So, ignore the blanket. It's a bit cold in my room right now, so I'm trying to warm up a bit. But I just finished Marvel's Echo, and it was very lackluster. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, this is the second time Marvel's just released midness, and I'm very upset. It was like in my last video, I talked about What If. It was a solid show. Ending half was okay. Loki was good. I'll give them that. Loki was good. But this Echo show was it just didn't hit where it needed to hit. Because like the idea of it, like the way they set this character up, Echo, or Amaya is her name. Like they introduce her in Hawkeye's TV show as like Kingpin's henchman. She ends up, trying to off Kingpin because he killed her pops or whatever. And this show just her surviving Kingpin or whatever, or wanting to like take over his empire or whatnot. And like on paper, that sounds like a cool idea. You have like a character that's works with Kingpin, can also fight Daredevil and whatnot. Like they have all the tools, full of cool character, but they just don't execute it the way they need to do it. So I'm gonna talk about it. So the show starts off like in this little flashback, whatever, of like how she started working for Kingpin. She has like this one fight scene with Daredevil, and the fight was just okay. And speaking of the fights in this show did not hit at all. Like the fight scenes did not feel like cool fight scenes to me. They were just very okay, like I've seen this before. Like none of the fights just felt like impactful. You know what I mean? And then just the story itself, like again, it's a good idea of a story. Like you have this one character who's surviving, Kingpin's onslaught or whatever of these guys hunting her down because she tried to kill the Kingpin. That's a good idea. She goes to her hometown, has survived, gets back with family, hasn't talked to for a long time. Like has all the makings of a really good story, but they just don't land it the way they have to land it. And then also, they just did some concept of her like her ancestors give her these like powers or whatever. And they don't really explain the powers too well, but again, I don't mind it though. Like we have like this whole mini series, like 5 episodes. They could build up to her getting her powers, like learning how to use them. I'm okay with that. But the powers themselves make no sense. Like her hands just started glowing one time and she like moved something. Then spoilers for the end of the show. But she then used her powers, like she finally controlled them, and like she could give her powers to other people and they get strong too. It was just like it felt very messy. You know what I mean? Like they didn't know what they were doing, what they wanted to do with the character. You feel me? And then, when they introduced the powers, like they finally introduced like the mother had the powers too, like in the last episode in a flashback that she also had powers too, her mom. And I'm like, they should have did something like that, like show the mom had the powers too near the beginning of the show. So then we have her, okay, so we then have her realizing, okay, her mom has powers. She got these powers too, like episode 1, realizing she has them. Now she has to like figure out how to use them, and then finally talks to her grandmother who knows about the history of her ancestors and whatnot, to learn how to use the powers. That would have been good and solid storytelling. They did not do that. It was just very not great writing. And then Kingpin, he just feels like what was it? A Saturday morning villain. Like Kingpin back in Daredevil and whatnot was like, he felt like a very intimidating, powerful figure. But then in this show, he just feels very nerfed. And they did the same thing to him with Hawkeye too. They kind of just nerfed his character just a bit. Like he still has that presence, but when it comes to like power and intimidation, just it doesn't feel exactly the same. And I just everything about this show felt off with Kingpin. And then I feel like look back at the show, they kind of just excuse me, that was a burp, that was gross. Back to it. They kind of like forced Daredevil in the show, like first episode, like, oh look, here's Daredevil for one quick fight scene, and then he's gone. I feel like this should have been focused in New York. I think like having in New York City, her going through New York, fighting the hitman or whatnot, trying to get her. Just her also going through fighting Daredevil, stuff like that. Like they could have done a lot with action, fighting, world building, but instead they chose to like go to Oklahoma, which is where her ancestors are. Like she's this is kind of important. Like she's Native American, and so like her ancestors were like these like people who like discover this power and whatnot. That's how she got her powers. So that's the setup. So like I get them wanting to move to Oklahoma to like get her roots, but I feel like that should have been like her in New York City. She then runs to Oklahoma to like find some shelter, then comes back to New York City with her newfound powers. That would have been a lot better than them just staying in Oklahoma the entire time. That just felt, yeah, it just felt kind of boring and dry in that state. Not gonna lie to you. So yeah, all in all, this show just, sorry, I had some, I don't know what that was. This show just wasn't that great to me. No, it was just very mediocre. And like I kind of wanted, again, like I have very high hopes for Marvel because like Marvel's been doing great back in the past, but like nowadays just been okay. Hopefully, Deadpool 3 does fantastic. Like I really hope Deadpool 3 just pulls together. I'm waiting for the summer. I'm waiting for that movie. I just hope that it just delivers on everything I want from a Marvel movie. I really, really do. Because like right now, Marvel, it really is just, it's hit or miss with Marvel nowadays. Like it's either going to be a good show, like really good like Loki, or it's going to be mid or just almost bad. I feel like this show, Echo, was like teetering to bad. Like I'll give it like mid, low mid, like 6.8, maybe 7. That's what I'll give this show. Could have been better, but as somebody say, it is what it is. Well, that's the video. That's my review for the show. Do I recommend it? Nah, this feels like a skip. I mean, the only thing that's useful is there's gonna be an election in New York for mayor, and Kingpin was like googling the screen, like, oh, maybe I could be mayor or something like that. I don't know. Hopefully they fix Kingpin. Do more with New York, more with her character, more with Daredevil. Like New York City is a hotspot. Okay, I'm ranting out at this point. This should have been in the video, but New York City is a hotspot of cool stuff. Just like with the low scale stuff. Because like you have like the high scale stuff like the Avengers. They have like the medium high with the Fantastic Four. They have like the street level people like Luke Cage, Spider-Man, Daredevil, people like that. Like I feel like New York City has like a lot of range when it comes to storytelling and just like action and what you can do with it. And I feel like with this Echo character, they could have done something with it, but they just didn't. So hopefully, maybe with the next installment with either her character or Daredevil, they just figure out a way to really use New York City and the characters they do have to like really make this city feel great again. But yeah, I'm done ranting. I'm done yapping. And that's the end of the video. I'll catch you guys next time.